hello. Yo, how you doing, man? You right? Yeah, how you been? How's your mum and dad? Bless, good, man. I'm glad to hear that. So what do you need help with, man? Your child psychology and development module on the 2-year accelerator course at your university degree. Bless, just so happens to be I'm an expert in these things. Yeah, what specifically do you need help with? Behaviorism. Cool. Let me start with the definition, yeah. So Pollard has coined the concept of behaviorism as how living creatures, in particular animals and humans, learn by building up associations between their experience, their thinking, and their behavior. So basically, in the school context, you know, like in school, the stereotypical school setting, you have the teacher at the front, and then you have the kids in rows, learning, listening, absorbing information. It's basically like that. So yeah. So like behaviorism, the concept of it first was developed by Thorndike. He came up with two laws, yeah. So the law of effect and the law of exercise. So basically the law of effect said how the more dissatisfaction or comfort you get from a certain type of behavior, the stronger the bond becomes, which links into, it's basically conditioning.
Yes, as I was saying, it all links to conditioning. So there are two types of conditioning: operant and classical conditioning. So I'm going to start explaining classical to you first, because I feel like it'll be easiest to get your head around. So classical conditioning is basically where a neutral stimulus is paired with a naturally occurring stimulus, and then over time, yeah, that the naturally occurring stimulus gets removed, and then the same behavior is evoked from the neutral stimulus that didn't evoke that first, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, do you know any of the key theorists who are involved in that? Yeah, come on, you know it, come on. I'll tell you. So we got the first main guy, his name was Watson. Basically, he did an experiment on a baby called Little Albert, and that was very unethical. And then we had a guy called Pavlov. He did a similar experiment, but with dogs. So it shows that it doesn't just occur with humans, but with all sentient beings, really. And then, operant conditioning, which was the other type of conditioning. So there was a guy called Skinner. You might have heard of him, or you should have heard of him if you've been listening in classes. But yeah, Skinner, he had these things called Skinner's boxes, and it basically involved rats, and it showed that learning can occur through reinforcing behavior and through punishments. So through operant conditioning, an association is made between a behavior and a consequence for that behavior. So the desirable result follows an action. So when the desirable result follows an action, the behavior becomes more likely to be carried out, because obviously everyone likes rewards, yeah? I know you like your rewards, bro. Don't lie. Okay, yeah. So then, strengths and weaknesses, yeah? So the big strength of behaviorism in the classroom context is how the teacher can basically just convey across the knowledge that she wants the students to learn. So there's no guesswork, if you get what I'm saying. But then again, one of the biggest weaknesses of it is how it's kind of like a narrow-minded approach, you get me? Because everyone's an individual, and this is the main way that kids are taught in schools, and everyone's different, and it's just not everyone can learn effectively that way, you get me? Some people like working in groups, they like working together, speaking, finding out for themselves. So yeah, some people just find it boring, but yeah, other than that, my brother, you need anything else, just let me know, yeah? Bless in a bit, bro.
Yeah, I've got your message. Yeah, I'm good, cool. So I haven't got much time, battery's low, yeah, 2%. I was just going to say about the social constructivism he was talking about. Yeah, so basically, a quick definition would be, it emphasises the importance of culture and context, yeah? Basically an understanding of what occurs in society, can you hear me? Yeah? And constructing knowledge based on this understanding. Yeah, Vygotsky, yep, and Bruner. So in contrast to Piaget, who was more of a constructivism, yeah, Vygotsky believed that children would learn better. Yeah, they'll develop more with interactions with their peers and their social environment. Yeah, so instead of sort of sitting in a line, or sitting in a group. Yeah. So yeah, and just a quick thing before I go. So Jerome, Bruno, he had 3 sort of stages, 4 stages of learning? Or models, yeah. So you had inactive, iconic, symbolic, and then a spiral, whatever you call it. So the inactive one, imagine like you've got, I don't know, you're a kid in the class and you're talking about apples, and you've got apples there so they can physically see the apples, or if it's a picture, you say these 3 apples, and do you get the idea? And then the more iconic is like dots, so sort of progression. And then the symbolic will be stuff like numbers. Yeah? You sort of understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm talking about this social constructivism, yeah? I feel like someone's watching me, but I think we should watch someone else through the window, innit? I'll go David Attenborough then. Go and have a look. So here we have a group of students in a natural environment doing work. Here they are working. And basically, that's sort of what they're doing, like social constructivism.
So the last theory we're going to be talking about is constructivism. Now, constructivism is a branch of cognitivism. So cognitivism can be defined as a general approach that views learning as an active process of acquiring, remembering, and using knowledge. So, who is the key figurehead in constructivism?
Piaget.
Come on. Jean Piaget from Switzerland. Now, this guy was very clever. He got a PhD at the age of 22. Shouts out to you, Poppy, for your PhD. Doctor. So Piaget, he came up with the stage theory of learning, which we now use to structure our key stages at primary school.
Yeah.
So there were 4 stages: sensory, motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and then formal operations.
Yep.
And this basically split by age group into our learning stages. So for example,
0 to 2.
0 to 2, yeah,
Yep.
0 to 2.
2 to 7.
2 to 7, which
Don't
would
know.
be key stage.
What?
Key
Exactly,
stage.
you answer the
You answer
question. 7 to 11.
Yep. And then 11 to adulthood. Now that's a point for debate that we will bring up later, because 11 to adult, that's a very broad range, isn't it?
We'll just bring it down a bit.
Alright, so 3 key Piagetian concepts: organization, adaptation, and equilibration. So organization. So humans tend to organize our thinking into structures. So these structures. Alright, sorry about that. This is what he needs to work on his parking skills, but yeah.
They need to work on their driving skills.
Yeah. Alright, ready? Keep it going. We're keeping all the outtakes in. So organization. So as I said, we have a tendency to organize our thinking into psychological structures. So separate structures that we form, these are called
schemers! God no, I paid attention for once.
Now, yes, they are called schemas. 9,250 is worth it, mate. So, adaptation now. So there are 2 sub-branches of adaptation: assimilation and
accommodation. Some of you may be in accommodation at the halls on the other campus, but that's accommodation.
Sweet. Assimilation. So this is how we understand new things by fitting them in with what we already know. And then accommodation
is basically you're changing the existing schemes to respond to new situations.
So we use these processes throughout on a daily basis for the rest of our life, really. They never stop. So now finally, equilibration. So it's the act of searching for a balance. So we don't like it when we get told something but we don't really understand it. So this is what thrives our search for understanding and like leveling things out. So basically, if a schema works, what do we have?
An equilibration.
And if it doesn't work, if we're not satisfied,
we have a disequilibration, which Ashley can't say.
Ashley,
shout out to you, my PE teacher. What is he? My
PP,
what?
CPD.
No, he's my
Oh, he's your personal
Personal tutor. PT. Personal trainer, not personal trainer. Personal tutor.
So, what was the experiment that we talked about? We talked about the 3 mountains experiment. So
1,
do you wanna,
2, 3.
So do you wanna
Basically,
elaborate on that?
Had 2 kids. One was fairly young, and he was asked to look at this mountain, this little display, and he was asked to tell you what he saw. So from one angle, he said what he saw, and then they turned this round, but he still said what he saw from the other side instead of what was in front of him. That's correct, isn't it?
That is correct. And then the same thing was repeated with a slightly older child, but he could understand that not everyone sees from the same perspective. He
processed it.
He processed that, he understood that. So that brings us to the end of our talk on constructivism. Peace.
Out.